Hello and welcome to the Charlie Waller Memorial Trust virtual quiz. It's hosted by me, Clare Balding, and you might as well see me. Here I am. And it is going to be a really fun evening. So we don't require you to pay any money before you join the quiz, but during the course of the evening, particularly if you're having fun, then we would very much encourage you to do so. And you can see on your screen the ways in which that can be done. And it's very simple in terms of texting. And you can join us as well on the chat on your YouTube down the side. You can see there's lots of people joining. So Annika Small is here with us. Ruben Dykes joining us from Skegness. Anne Whelan says hello from Bournemouth. Annabelle is with us from Westonbirt. Georgia Ferguson, who says from Georgia in Hove via Greece via Canada, which makes me think that's a lot of time in quarantine. But anyway, welcome, you're very welcome. And to everybody all around the country and indeed all around the world who are joining, thank you very much indeed for doing so. Now, for anyone who doesn't know about the Charlie Waller Memorial Trust, it was set up in 1997 after Charlie tragically took his own life at the age of 27. And his family were very aware then that lots of young people suffer from mental health issues, don't feel that they can talk about them, and they wanted to set up the trust to help people learn how to look after themselves, but also to help all of us spot issues as and when they occur, particularly in young people. And 22 years later, they reach thousands of people every year with their free mental health training in schools, universities and workplaces across the UK. So welcome to the quiz, and I'm delighted to be hosting this for you. And the main thing about this quiz that I need to tell you is it does rely on your honesty. So if you're tempted to Google an answer, don't, because I'll be giving you the answers later, and that sort of ruins the thrill of it. You won't know how well you've actually done if you're Googling the answer. So I'm just going to make that plea to the most honest member of every family and say, it's all in your brain or it's not. And it doesn't matter if you know it or you don't know it, but it should be a fun learning process throughout the evening, I hope. I'm here at home, very relieved actually that we got our house done up before lockdown. So we've got quite a nice colour back there. I would tell you what it is if I knew, but I don't. And Mark Durden-Smith, when he was hosting this 2 weeks ago, appeared in black tie. So I thought, my word, the standards are high. I've got to dress up. So I have tried my best and putting a little sparkle on as if I was, as if we were all gathered together in a smart hotel. In fact, I'm actually happy being at home. So I hope you are too. We haven't had to fight in through all the traffic or anything like that. Now, I'm going to tell you lots more about the trust later in the programme, but as I mentioned, there are ways in which you can donate, and we'd really encourage you to do so. It would be lovely. And if you can make a donation of up to £20, then this is how to do it. You can text the word CWMT quiz, so Charlie Waller Memorial Trust quiz, CWMT quiz, plus your donation amount, and you text that to 70085. So, for example, you could text CWMT quiz 3 if you wanted to donate £3, or CWMT quiz 10 to donate £10, and that's right up to £20. If you want to give more than that, then use the Just Giving link in the description below this video on YouTube, or the donate button on the CWMT website, and we will give you those details again later. And thank you already to those who have been so generous, because lots of people have already made donations. We're extremely overwhelmed by them and very touched, so thank you. So now just a bit about the quiz. There are going to be 6 rounds. We'll have a break after the 3rd round, and I'll give you the answers halfway through and indeed at the end. You can answer the questions by yourself. You can obviously confer with other members of your team, or if you're a very competitive family, why not split yourselves into little groups and grab the cleverest one right now. If I were you, I would always grab my mum. That was the winner, just so clearly. So mum and I would then be against Dad and Andrew, which really was no contest. But anyway, grab the cleverest member in your family and then take on the others, because that might be fun. If you're playing on your own, there are going to be opportunities for bonus points, so just listen carefully, because quite often when people are playing together, they don't really listen to the questions. So you may be at an advantage. We're going to have some help as well from some friends of mine in the sporting world, so you'll see them a little later on. Our scoring is pretty self-explanatory. It's 1 point for a correct answer. If there are 2 parts, you get 2 points, etc. As I mentioned, it's an honesty quiz. So instead of giving a massive cash prize to the winner, as we can't verify whether or not you've Googled, although personally I trust you all, we can't do that, but I will happily give a copy of a signed book to whoever, well, in fact, what we'll do it as a prize, because this is the fairest thing. So you can have a copy of one of my books. What have I written? Five books so far, 3 for children, another one coming out this Christmas, which will be for adults. So all you need to do is listen out for the password. I'll tell you that at some point during the quiz. It will be obvious, don't worry about that. And then there's a very short sign-up form afterwards, and then we'll draw the name out of the hat. So don't worry if you bomb the quiz, it doesn't matter, because you could still win a signed book. And you may not want it signed to you. You might think, that's a good Christmas present that I could save for somebody else. Now, we've done everything we can to ensure, I know Christmas is a long way off. I don't know why I said that. I couldn't think of anything. There might be a birthday coming up. Who knows? We've done everything we can to ensure we get the best connection to you as possible, but do bear with us if there is buffering. It might just help to refresh your screen. So that can quite often, it will just start it back up again, but hopefully that won't occur. At the end of each round, we will put up the questions in text form so you can see them. And in case the sound dipped out at any point and you didn't hear it. At the end of each round as well, obviously at the end of 3 rounds, we'll give the answers and then the end of the thing. Now, if you start questioning the answers, I just need you to know this. The quiz mistress is in charge, okay? So you can question it all you like, but it won't help. And in fact, what I'll do is fine you and I'll make you give another donation, because you probably have already because you're a generous lot. We are going to be turning the chat function, which is lovely to see all of you coming in on that. So that's great. And how you heard about the quiz, and some doing so on email and some on Facebook and others from friends who've done it before. So that is great. The Knights are on, they've joined us, but we're going to turn that chat function off, because as we start asking the questions, we don't want anyone to put up the answers on the chat function, because that kind of ruins it for everybody. So it'll come back up again. Just before we get started, I want to make a very, very warm welcome and thank you to the members of the team from ECI Partners. And they are a private equity firm who have just announced that CWMT will be their charity partner this year. So thank you very, very much. And I hope you enjoy the quiz and that this will be your first sort of official event with us. So great. Okay, is everybody ready? Have you got a pen? Have you got a piece of paper? Have you grabbed the cleverest person in the room to be with you? It might be the dog or the cat, who knows? Probably the cat, actually. So round 1, here we go. The Sun Always Shines on TV and Take On Me were both hits in the 80s for one of my favourite bands. What is the name of the band? So The Sun Always Shines on TV and Take On Me were hits in the 80s for which band? That is question 1. Question 2 has 3 parts to it. And I'll give you that in a minute. Just be thinking about those songs and if you can sing them. Touch me, how can it be? Believe me, the sun always shines on TV. I'm sure that'll help. Out of tune as it is. Right, question 2, 3 parts to it. Whose autobiographies are these? A, My Bookie Wook. Who wrote that? B, Becoming. Massive bestseller that was. Hugely successful book. And C, equally had global impact, Long Walk to Freedom. So 3 autobiographies there. Whose are they? A was My Bookie Wook. B is Becoming. And C is Long Walk to Freedom. Okay. Question 3. Who do all the toys belong to in Toy Story? This is, I hope, particularly aimed at the younger quizzers tonight, but it may be the adults who know because they've sat through it as well. So who do all the toys in Toy Story belong to? He's constantly being shouted at. Question 4. The Jersey Tiger and the Chinese character are both types of what? So the Jersey Tiger and the Chinese character are both types of what? I expect there'll be a fair bit of discussion there. Yes. I can hear it happening. Okay, I know, I think I know what the Jersey Tiger is, but is the Chinese character that as well? Oh, I don't know. Put something down. Question 5. Which American pop artist painted a diptych of Marilyn Monroe in 1962? So which American pop artist, or pop art artist? Yes, because pop artists would be different. Pop art, that narrows it right down, right? Which American pop art artist painted a diptych of, some people say diptych, but I think diptych, of Marilyn Monroe in 1962? And question 6 is the first. You will notice a repeating theme through tonight's quiz, and that is some questions will relate to various Olympic games, and this is the first of your Olympics questions. What was the name of the horse Nick Skelton rode to win individual gold in the show jumping in Rio 2016? Was it A, Big Star, B, Top Gun, or C, Dollar Girl? So what was the name of the horse Nick Skelton rode to win an individual gold medal in the show jumping in Rio in 2016? Was it A, Big Star, B, Top Gun, or C, Dollar Girl? Now I'll give you a roundup of all 6 questions, and you're going to see those on a slide very shortly, so that if you want them, it's much easier this way to just check back, know what you've got and what you haven't. So A was The Sun Always Shines on TV and Take On Me were hits in the 80s for which band? Whose autobiographies are these? My Bookie Book, Becoming, and Long Walk to Freedom. Who do all the toys belong to in Toy Story? The Jersey Tiger and the Chinese character are both types of what? And which American pop art artist painted a diptych of Marilyn Monroe in 1962? And there are your options for the name of the horse that Nick Skelton rode to win individual gold in show jumping in Rio in 2016. Big Star, Top Gun, or Dollar Girl. So have a look at those. I'll give you a minute. And hope very much you are enjoying it and hearing it and seeing it properly. Hopefully, actually, you didn't hear my singing because that was a low point, but I got carried away. They are one of my favourite bands. Okay, if you're ready, let's move on to round 2. Everybody poised on the starting blocks. Here we go, round 2. Question 1. In what year was the euro officially introduced in all Eurozone countries? And by that, I mean notes and coins actually in circulation. It was also the year that Salt Lake City in Utah hosted the Winter Olympics, and Queen Elizabeth II celebrated her Golden Jubilee. So in which year did all of those things happen? The euro was officially accepted and in use across the Eurozone countries. The year that Salt Lake City hosted the Winter Olympics, and the year of the Queen's Golden Jubilee. Question 2. Birmingham, Venice, and Amsterdam all have extensive canal systems. Can you put them in order of mileage, starting with the longest? So Birmingham, Venice, and Amsterdam. Amazing actually seeing the shots of Venice's canals and how clear they are now. But anyway, you're putting them in order, starting with the longest. Who's got the longest canal system? And then obviously ABC. So Birmingham, Venice, and Amsterdam are your 3 cities. Put them in order. Question 3 is, what do you do with a wet Nelly? Do you wear it, kick it, or eat it? A wet Nelly, 2 words, the Nelly spelt with a Y. Do you wear it, kick it, or eat it? Question 4. The rum-tum tugger is a curious what? Some people will just say that straight away, they'll know. The rum-tum tugger is a curious what? Question 5 is, what was the name of Adele's first album? I won't sing any Adele songs for you. That would be sacrilegious. Well, it was actually to try and sing Aha, but I won't. So what was the name of Adele's first album? We'll be busy writing that down as we welcome our first special guest. And she has a major Olympic connection. She is an Olympic gold medalist. She is an Olympic gold medal winning captain. She is captain fantastic of the hockey team. It's Kate Richardson-Walsh. Hello.
Hello, good evening. How are you?
Very good, thanks. How's lockdown going?
Yeah, we're surviving in our two-bed flat. We're doing okay. We're not too bad.
I have been thinking of you a lot because with a young baby as well, actually maybe the best time to be locked down because you're not having to do homeschooling. You're just teaching crawling and presumably some form of sport already.
Yes, she has a hockey stick and a tennis ball on the play mat. We're ready to go.
Okay, Kate, I'm going to hand over to you, and would you like to share your question, please?
Yeah, I would love to. So I was captain of the GB women's hockey team that won gold in Rio. Can you name 3 of my teammates?
So any 3 teammates of yours in that gold medal team? That is a good question. Fantastic. Right, Kate, I will be giving the answers in about 10 minutes or so. So if you don't mind rejoining us to give the answer or the selections that they could have had, as it were, the three from the rest of the team. Thank you. Good old Kate Richardson-Walsh, isn't she a star? So that was her question. She was captain of the team that won the gold medal in Rio, but can you name 3 of her teammates? That would be fantastic. And so let's round up all 6 questions there, and I'll quickly read them back through for you, but you can look at them on the screen, which does help. So what is the year that the Euro was officially introduced in all Eurozone countries? Salt Lake City hosted the Winter Olympics, and the Queen celebrated her Golden Jubilee, all in the same year. Birmingham, Venice and Amsterdam all have extensive canal systems. Can you put them in order of mileage, starting with the longest? What do you do with a wet Nelly? Do you wear it, kick it, or eat it? Question 4 was the Rum Tum Tugger is a curious what? Question 5 is what was the name of Adele's first album? And question 6, given to us by Kate Richardson-Walsh, was can you name any 3 of her gold medal winning teammates? Fantastic. Right, that gives us, that's the end of round 2. So if you want to have a loo break, you can. If you think you're doing well, then obviously if you have split up in your families, then taunt the other ones. Nicely, obviously. And if there are gaps in your knowledge, make a little note to yourself, go, I must look up canal systems. I did a quiz the other weekend with some school friends of mine, and one of them actually runs a narrowboat company on the outskirts of Birmingham. And he did a round all on canals. So I spent that Saturday morning, slightly embarrassed to admit this, but doing homework on the UK canal system so that I could answer the questions in the round that I knew he was posing the questions. It's pathetic, isn't it? I mean, that really is competitive beyond necessity. Right. Hopefully that's given you enough time. Oh my word, we have raised, oh, that's Archie the dog, £19,900 so far by Just Giving. So thank you very, very much for that. All right, Arch. Archie's now of an age where he just barks for things randomly and he wants to go out, so he can go out. That's fine. So 19,900 already raised via Just Giving and text donating so far. So thank you for that. Right, round 3 is a picture round. And again, it's a picture round connected to things that I'm, passionate about. And if it's not sport, then generally speaking, it's animals, horses or indeed dogs. So this is a picture round about dogs. I'd like you to name the breed of dog in each picture. And I'm going to be precise. I'd like the full breed name, please. I might allow some half points, but if you give me the full breed name, you're going to be flying. And then there'll be a bonus question about how they're all connected or what they all have in common. So first breed of dog is this. What is that? And that is a perfect pose for the camera. Very handsome boy. He is a boy. So that's your first breed of dog. Let's have a look at the second. Now this is where I might be generous to you, but I mean, if you're specific, fantastic. If you're a bit more general, you might take off half. Or no, I'll tell you what I'll do. You get a point for being general, and you get a bonus point if you're bang on, okay? If you're specific about it. That is a bit of topiary, isn't it? That is some hairdo. Number 3 is this. What breed of dog is that? Very pretty. Number 4. Again, I am looking for specific. You're basically. I need 3 words from you here, essentially. And that is a very fine coat. Number 5. Look at that happy face. What breed of dog is that? And finally, number 6. There we go. That is a big dog in a little body, believe me. Again, I'd like you to be specific there. And for a bonus point, can you tell me what all of those 6 dogs or that breed of dog has in common? So we'll just give you those images again as a reminder. There they are. 6 breeds of dog. You're going to tell me the breed, and you're going to hopefully tell me what they have in common. Okay, that brings us to the end of round 3. We're halfway through the questions. I'm going to give you another minute to fill in the gaps, and then I'll be back with the answers to those first 3 rounds. And we can turn the chat function back on. So feel free to post how you're doing as we go along and who you're playing with, who in your family you've picked, who you're hoping not to upset. You might swap sides now for the second half. You never know. Where are the areas of your knowledge that you think you're really good on, and where might you need a little homework? Because this is evening homeschooling. That's how I see it. These are the things in life that are important to know. Breeds of dog. I go around the park saying to people, oh, that's an Italian Spinoni, isn't it? They say yes. Look at me like I'm, yes, a little too involved. How's everybody enjoying it? Are you having fun? I hope so. I'm going to see if I can see the chat, but I don't think I can at the moment. But that might be because there's a slight delay from me to that. So hopefully it will come up. Right, would you like some answers? I think so. I will assume you're saying yes to me. So answers to the first 3 rounds we'll be giving you. Well, I'll be giving you most of them. Kate Richardson-Walsh will give you the answer to her questions. So round 1 for 8 points in total. The Sun Always Shines on TV and Take On Me were hits in the 80s. For which band? The answer is A-ha. A-H-A. Lead singer Morton Harkett, of whom I had a picture. Right, question 2. Whose autobiographies are these? My Bookie Work was Russell Brand's autobiography. Becoming, I'm sure you knew, was Michelle Obama. And Long Walk to Freedom, I'm sure you also knew, was Nelson Mandela. Who do all the toys belong to in Toy Story? Shout it out, kids. Andy. Andy is the answer. Now, I thought this was a tricky question. Question 4, the Jersey tiger and the Chinese character are both types of what? And you'd start, you know, you might think, is it an aeroplane? No, moth is the answer, the moth. Which American pop art artist painted Marilyn Monroe, the diptych of her, in 1962? The answer is Andy Warhol. And I gave you 3 options for the name of the horse that Nick Skelton rode to win individual gold in Rio, and the answer was Big Star. So 8 points available there. And I hope that you did very, very well. Right, the answers to round 2. In what year was the euro officially introduced as currency and usable currency, but also Salt Lake City hosted the Winter Olympics and the Queen celebrated her Golden Jubilee? The answer is 2002. Birmingham, Venice and Amsterdam all have extensive canal systems. In order of mileage, starting with the longest, it goes like this: Amsterdam, then Birmingham, then Venice. So whenever somebody says Birmingham has more canals than Venice, you can say, yes, that is true. In terms of mileage, it's absolutely true, but not as many as Amsterdam. So what do you do with a wet Nelly? Do you wear it, eat it, or kick it? And the answer is you eat it. It's a type of cake. The rum-tum-tugger is a curious cat. And I know some people will have just said that straight away. It's from Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats by T.S. Eliot, and it also featured in Cats, the musical. What was the name, or more precisely, the number of Adele's first album? And the answer is 19, because that was her age when she was writing it. So Kate Richardson-Walsh has asked you to name any 3 members of her gold medal winning GB hockey team at the Rio Olympics. Kate, tell us who they could have selected from.
So in number order, you could have had Maddie Hinch, Laura Unsworth, Krista Cullen, Hannah McLeod, Georgie Twigg, Susanna Townsend, Sam Queck, Alex Danson, Giselle Ansley, Sophie Bray, Holly Webb, Shona McCallan, Lily Owsley, and Nick White.
Very, very good. Well, thank you. There.
Oh wait, hold on.
Oh,
there was a voice. There's a voice from the other room. I seem to have missed one person. Unbelievably, it's my wife, Helen Richardson-Walsh.
Did you seriously just miss her out?
There's no dinner. There's no dinner.
I'm not surprised.
There's no dinner for me tonight.
I'm appalled at you, Kate. I thank you so much. That is a fantastic question. And there we see the full list of that brilliant team. And I know actually that part of the psychology of that team was that it was about all of you in the squad. It was every single person who contributed to that gold medal.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a team effort, and it's a team effort tonight. Everybody's doing fantastically well, raising a lot of money for a really good cause. So keep it going. Good luck, everybody.
Thank you, Kate. Have a good evening. The rest of it, I'm playing Scrabble with Kate at the moment. Actually, Alice is as well. So we're trying to keep her, mentally stimulated as well as asking quiz questions by making her play Scrabble. So those are the answers for round 2. There are a total of 8 points there. So count up your scores. So you'll get 1 for each of the hockey players that you managed to name. By the way, looking at the scores from the first round, lots of people doing great. Elizabeth Ellis, we got 6. Stormy Silver, 5. Oh, John Pugh had a shocker, only 3. But lots of people. Oh, Annette Smith, 7. She says, woohoo. And Lush Ladies of Lancing, cheers. Exclamation mark. That is their name, the whole thing. They got 7 points as well. So that's great. Few people struggling, but others doing very, very well. Okay, and exactly. And how brilliant is Kate? And lots of people saying thank you for joining, Kate, which is great. And Richard Bushnell says 8 so far. Good for a teen-year-old. Or is that a 14-year-old? Who knows? Right, and then other people, 11 so far. The McKinnons, only 1 out of 8. The we have the McKinnons on a family quiz every Saturday, and I really want them to win one week, and they haven't done yet. But hopefully they will have done well in the dog breeds around, and hopefully so will all of you. Orlando's got 14 out of 16 so far. Right, let's have a look at the dog breeds. I asked you to name the breed, and to be precise, I wanted the full breed name. So, number 1, that is a Papillon, named after those beautiful butterfly ears. And actually, that specifically is a dog called Dylan. He was known as Dylan the Villain. Number 2 is a standard poodle. I will accept poodle, but I'm going to give you an extra point if you put standard poodle. Number 3 is a Whippet. Number 4 is an American Cocker Spaniel. So again, you can have 1 point for Cocker Spaniel, 2 if you actually put American Cocker Spaniel. Number 5 is a little West Highland Terrier. I just think they're gorgeous dogs. And number 6 is the Wirehead Dachshund. It's not a miniature Dachshund, it's a Wirehead Dachshund. And it's not smooth and it's not long head. Now, all of those breeds of dog, starting most recently with the Wirehead Dachshund, have won Best in Show at Crufts. So the Wirehead Dachshund Maisie won this year. The little Westie, there was Devon, a gorgeous Westie, won in 2016. The American Cocker Spaniel, I think it was called Miami Ink, it won in 2017. The Whippet won in 2018, and that was the year the protesters came in and the owner scooped her up, do you remember? And it was a little Whippet called Tease, and the standard poodle was called Ricky. When did Ricky win? 2014, I think. And what was the first one I showed you? Oh, the Papillon. That was last year, 2019. That was Dylan the Villain. And she has, she's got Dylan's brother. And what did she call him? Simon? What did she call him? Anyway, he's very naughty as well. And he won Best of Breed, but he didn't go through to the group. So there were a few bonus points to be collected there if you were very precise. So halfway through the quiz now, I really hope you're enjoying it. I know some questions that will be off your information scale, as it were, and not in your range of knowledge. Others, I hope, are banging it. 3 rounds to come. And while we take a break and you refresh yourselves or whatever you'd like to do, I was thinking of doing a costume change just to try and keep up with Mark Durden-Smith and his black tie, but I think I'll just stick in this because it's nice and bright. And I will also tell you a bit more about the Charlie Waller Memorial Trust. So have a little break, but do listen out to what we're saying and also give you details about how you can donate money, which are on your screen there. So up to £20, you can do that by text. And if you want to give us more than £20, which would be extremely generous, then you can click on the link below to our Just Giving page or click on the donate button on our website. And thank you to all those who have already donated. Ooh, Lottie B's doing well, 21 points so far. And Dominic Williams on 13, so a real range here. Hugh Petrie's got 20. Linda Burns got 18. Yes, Annette Smith says, was the score out of 9 there? Yes, there were bonus points to be won. So there were 7 points, but I gave you a bonus point if you put a standard poodle, and I gave you a bonus point if you put American Cocker Spaniel. So if you just put Cocker Spaniel, you get 1, but if you put American Cocker, oh, and the Wirehead Dachshund, yes, I'm just hoping you got that right. If you just put Dachshund, let's put it this way, if you just put Dachshund, it's 1 point. If you put Wirehead Dachshund, it's 2 points. So actually that's a bit more, isn't it? So 2, 3, 9, yes, 9 points maximum on the dog round. So just to tell you a bit more about the Charlie Waller Memorial Trust, it was set up in 1997, and I mentioned earlier that Charlie took his own life at the age of 27, and it was an absolute tragedy because nobody knew that he was suffering. And his family set up the trust to help people learn how to look after their mental health, particularly young people. And 22 years later, they now reach thousands of people every year with their free mental health training in schools, in universities and workplaces across the UK. So to give you some actual figures, because it's a very small, efficient charity, this. In 2019, their 40 trainers delivered over 880 training sessions nationwide. And those sessions reached over 50,000 people. And that's across schools and universities, colleges, workplaces, primary care settings, places where quite often people are under real pressure and they're trying not to show it, and places where it's deemed less acceptable to admit your vulnerability. And I think that, I hope that is where we're really changing. And it being Mental Health Awareness Week, I think there's something that is really key to talk about this week in particular. So CWMT take a positive, practical approach, giving teachers and others the confidence and the skills they need to help young people who may be struggling with their mental health. And their work is all based on solid evidence and research. They work with experts in the field of depression, anxiety, other mental health issues as well. And in the last 3.5 years, they've sent out over 5,500 mental health books to schools and youth settings for free through their book club. And they produce loads of brilliant leaflets, posters, booklets on mental well-being. You can download them from their website. And I think at this time, it is especially important that we all look after our mental health and that we notice other people who we care about, that we look around, that we just keep checking, are you okay? And we actually do listen to the answer. And I think the trust is so versatile and flexible and nimble because it can swing into action very quickly. It produces resources to help people take care of their mental well-being during lockdown. And one of these is their wellbeing action plan for people working from home. It's free to download from the CWMT website. They're also running the Wellbeing Challenge for children and young people. It runs for 2 more weeks and comes with a great activity pack. The Wellbeing Challenge pack is also free to download, but for families without printers at home, the Trust is sending out printed packs, and you could help specifically with that if you want, because if you donate £3, that's what it costs to send the pack out. And if you know a child who you think would like one, or might have a friend who would like one, then let the Trust know. And we've had some very kind donations. Even before the quiz started tonight, I just wanted to take the opportunity to do a few shout outs and say thank you to John Talon, QC, Andrew Hobbs, John Lloyd, Jonathan Davis-Jones, Sally and Mark Burton, Charles Forbes Adam, Venetia Mitchell, Michelle Calipetis, Eleanor, Judith Robert Shaw, Margarita, thank you, Sarah Farquhar, thank you, and Rosemary Duckett. And to all of you who are giving money right now. So thank you very much indeed. And just to remind you, here are the donation details again. And thank you also for everybody who's getting involved on the chat. I love the directness of it. Oh, and Christopher Mould has joined us and says, could you give us a racing tip, please? Well, it'll either be in Hong Kong, France, or Germany right now. But when racing resumes again here, I will just say any horse trained by Andrew Balding is going to be in flying form. The horses are looking so well. And obviously they've been still working, you know, doing all their work as you would expect, and all their exercise. And the team at Kingsclear are really happy, actually. They've got a very good Instagram account. So if you fancy seeing nice pictures of horses and films, then that's a good place to go. Luke Adams has scored 15, he says, on my own. Phil Waller, hello. Thank you. Sarah Hollow says, can you say hi to the Hollows with 8 points? Is that 8 points in total? Oh, but listen, this second half is all about, you know, it can all change here. 3 more rounds to go. This might be right up your alley. Lush Ladies of Lancing cheers say, anyone need a top up? You can go and get your top up. There is time. The Bents are on 24.5. Alert the media, says Ned. Nicola Ellerman's got 23 so far. Melissa and Luke at 15. We mentioned Luke already, I think. Oh, John Vickery says 18 so far for 3 psychologists and a vet. Well, the vet, you see, the vet will have known all of those breeds of dog. He might have been rude about some of them and told you all of their various ailments, but Amanda Branson says 18 for us. Oh, you should get extra points for the 3 canals correctly ordered. But the thing is, not really, because they're already there in front of you. If you'd known them out of nowhere, if I'd said, you know, which of the 3 canal systems in the world that are the longest in mileage, or in Europe, and you'd known that, and you'd gone Amsterdam, Birmingham, Venice, then I'd definitely have given you 3 points. But as they were there in front of you and you just had to rearrange them, I think it's only 1 point. Sorry. So it says, how can anyone actually score 24 points? Well, they could have got bonus points. You see, there were various bonuses on offer. If they were perfect on the dogs, for example. Chris and Derek got 19. That's a very good score. Cameron says only 12 points, but having fun. Well, that is the point. So I love all the chat because also you're letting each other know what you've got and you're getting feedback from those that you, I think basically you're trying, I think some people are just trying to beat one family. So there's hope for everyone. The Spencers are with us. Hello, 18 points for them. Good, thank you, Debbie. Oh, David Rayner says some tough questions after an easy start with Aha, but you see, I gave it away by singing you The Sun Always Shines on TV. Oh no, that's good. Alice says social distance family competition, 13 points apiece, 20 miles away. That's Alice and Nick in Aylesbury, and Kathy and Tom are in, you've put Woburn, but I'm thinking, is it Woburn? Maybe it is Woburn, I'm not sure. And the Hurst family in London have got 15 points, 20 for the Morses, 21 for Eriths. Well done. 14 or 15 seems to be about par. So if you're around 14 or 15, then, you know, you're doing well. Anything higher than that, I think, is very, very strong. So shall we get going with round 4? Here we go, 3 more rounds to go. Round 4, question 1. The release date for the latest Bond movie, as you know, has been put back, but who has sung the theme tune to No Time to Die? So the latest Bond movie, which, as you know, is called No Time to Die, has been put back in terms of its release, but who has sung the theme tune? I'd love to give an extra point for spelling, but you'll know whether you've got it right. And when I put up the answers in text form, you'll see whether you've spelt it right. And I'll be impressed. Question 2, how many red arrows are in the sky at any one time when they are performing? So just looking for a number here. How many red arrows are in the sky at any one time when they are performing? And now we move on to my second special guest. Now, he made the semi-finals at Wimbledon 4 times. He reached a high of number 4 in the world. He won 11 singles titles. He won a silver medal at the Atlanta Olympics. Yes, because it was my first Olympics, that's right. In the Atlanta Olympics in the doubles. But he's not always, you know, Mr. Perfect. I adore him, love working with him. He's a very good golfer as well. His name is Tim Henman. But as his question, his first of 2 questions will reveal, he has not always been the best behaved. Here's Tim.
Okay. Evening all, hope you're having fun for the Charlie Waller Memorial Trust online quiz. I've got 2 questions, one fairly straightforward, one a little more tricky. So my first question is, in 1995, I was the first player ever to be disqualified at Wimbledon. But there were 2 other players that went on to be disqualified that year as well. Can you name one of them?
So there's Tim Henman's question. Who would have thought that in 1995 he became the first player ever to get disqualified? He was defaulting, he was playing a doubles match with Jeremy Bates and he hit the ball, you know, just out of frustration, and it hit a ball girl. And he was disqualified for that and he was absolutely devastated. Obviously, because it was an accident. But he says that year, that same year, 2 other players were defaulted for different things. Can you name either of them? So that is Tim Henman's first question. We'll get a second one in a moment. Question 4 in this round 4. Which country is St. Boniface? I'm pretty sure it's Boniface rather than Boniface, but it's spelt Boniface. I think it's St. Boniface. The patron saint of. Is it Germany, Austria, or Luxembourg? So which country is St. Boniface the patron saint of? Germany, Austria, or Luxembourg? Now, time for some true or false questions. So I need to know whether the following are fact or fiction. So true or false? A, an emu can fly. Is that true or false? B, Theodore Roosevelt's son was called Kermit. Is that true or false? And C, the adult human body has 197 bones. True or false? You'll get that again up in writing, which might make it easier. But essentially, true or false, you've got 3 facts there, and I want to know if they're true or false. A, was an emu can fly. B, Theodore Roosevelt's son was called Kermit. And C, the adult human body has 197 bones. True or false? Right, let's head back to Tim Henman for his second question.
Okay. And my second question, which is a bit more straightforward, can you name 3 sports you go backwards to win at? Good luck.
2 questions there from Tim Henman. He was so keen, he wanted to do 2 questions. So his second question is, can you name 3 sports in which you go backwards to win at? Are we doing 1 point for each of those? I think we should. I'm going to give you 1 point for each of those. So end of round 4, let's have a look at a quick review of those questions in text form so that you can see them and read them and fill in any gaps that you might have. First one was the release date for the latest Bond movie, No Time to Die, has been postponed. Who has sung the theme tune? Question 2, how many red arrows are in the sky at any one time when they're performing? Question 3, in 1995, Tim Henman was the first player to ever be disqualified at Wimbledon. Can you name the 2 other players who went on to be disqualified as well that year? Of which country is St. Boniface the patron saint? Is it Germany, Austria, or Luxembourg? And this was your true or false question 5, A, B, and C. A, an emu can fly. B, Theodore Roosevelt's son was called Kermit. C, the human body has 197 bones. True or false? And question 6 was name 3 sports in which you go backwards to win. Oh, looking at more names who've joined us. Annabelle Campbell, who says, hi, Claire, it's Annabelle Dangerfield, which is what she was when we were at school. Which is good. I'm very glad. I'm very glad she said, I mean. Hi from Jersey, the Minders quiz family in the house. It's Rachel and Hugo. And the chat obviously is disabled at the moment so that people don't put the answers up. But I'm just looking back at messages people have posted. Rasco and Disco say 15 points. Big apologies to the hockey ladies for not knowing any names. But it'll make you go away and learn them because it's good to know. Right. Hopefully you've caught up with all of those then for round 4. Should we go on to round 5? Here we go. Question 1. How high in feet is a basketball hoop from the ground? Not a trick question. I'm not talking about courts that are built halfway up a mountain. Just how high is a basketball hoop from the court? Question 2. In 1847, Charlotte and Anne Bronte both published novels whose title was a woman's name. What were they called? One I think you'll get quite easily. The other one is much harder. So in 1847, Charlotte and Anne Bronte both published novels whose title was a woman's name. What were they, both novels, what were they called? Question 3, think back to the days when we were allowed to shake hands. And if 6 people were in a meeting room and they all shook hands, how many handshakes would there be? So they're all shaking hands with each other. 6 people, how many handshakes would there be? By the way, we have now raised £20,921 for all across the 3 quizzes, which is great. Okay. Now for my next special guest, and she's appearing on horseback. It is the eventing queen, Pippa Funnell. What's her question?
Hi, my name's Pippa Funnell, and in 2003 I became the first rider to complete the Rolex Grand Slam of eventing. Which 3 events did I win?
So Pippa Funnell in 2003 won the Rolex Grand Slam of eventing, but which 3 events did she win to pick up that $1 million, I think it was, $1 million rather than £1 million, pretty sure, but it was a lot of money. Which 3 events did she win that make up the Rolex Grand Slam of eventing? Question 5, according to a survey of 2,000 people recently, what is Britain's favourite lockdown snack? Is it A, cheese and onion crisps, B, cheese on toast, or C, cheese and biscuits? So according to a recent survey of 2,000 people, what is Britain's favourite lockdown snack? It's either cheese and onion crisps, cheese on toast, or cheese and biscuits. Question 6. Which member of the royal family is 5th in line to the British throne? So which member of our royal family is 5th in line to the throne? So that is the end of round 5. Let's put all those questions up in text form for you so you can fill in any gaps you might have. And just to tell you, we're going to be very shortly joined live by another sporting superstar. He's waiting patiently for us. So there are your questions. How high in feet is a basketball hoop from the ground? Charles Nan Bronte each published novels in 1847. The title was a woman's name. What were they called? Question 3 was in the days when we could shake hands. If 6 people were in a meeting and everyone shook hands with each other, how many handshakes would there be? And Pippa Funnell's question was, which 3 events did she win to complete the Rolex Grand Slam of eventing? Question 5, according to a recent survey, what is Britain's favourite lockdown snack? And your options are cheese and onion crisps, cheese on toast, or cheese and biscuits. And finally in this round, which member of the royal family is 5th in line to the British throne? Right, hopefully you have a full house there. And PE teachers are particularly good at doing the formula for working out the answer to question 3, because it's like a tournament basically, but or round robin. Right. My superstar guest is waiting, so I'd like, if possible, to move on to round 6. And question 1 of round 6 is, thinking back to London 2012, to the glorious summer of the Olympics and Paralympics, some of which is going to be relived on television very soon, actually. Who won Great Britain's first gold of London 2012? And I'll give you a clue, I'm looking for 2 names. So who won the first gold medal of London 2012 of the Olympics? Okay, 2 names. You'll be thinking, you know it, you do know it. It was amazing, wonderful. It was a wonderful summer. Anyway, right, let us now zoom across to join a cricketing legend, because former England captain Andrew Strauss is very much in the house. Oh, no, I didn't even realise that was going to rhyme as I said it, Andrew, but it makes me sound like a DJ. Strauss is in the house. How are you?
I'm feeling very jealous of you, actually, because there's such a feeling of sort of power and superiority that comes with being a quizmaster, isn't there?
That's why Mark Durden-Smith enjoyed it so much when he did it.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm obviously, well, I was going to say I'm tearing my hair out, but clearly I'm not doing that. Just because I know so few of the answers, which is very disappointing.
Oh no! Did you not? Were you not good on the dog breeds? Did you see that one?
No, I missed that one actually. That would have probably been my specialist subject, so disappointed to miss that.
No, you'd be good on that. And you were doing a terrific job actually very early on in lockdown. You went live on YouTube for the Ruth Strauss Foundation, and you had various massive names. Now, I'd just like to say, because obviously you were looking for a woman and you were struggling, so you got me. But with those, those big alpha males like Will Greenwood and Kevin Peterson and Freddie Flintoff and Jamie Redknapp, right? They're all doing, and David Hay, they're all like lifting massive weights. You didn't tell me it was meant to be a sporting challenge. So I came up with blowing Maltesers into a goal, and I didn't know it was meant to be a sporting challenge.
I thought it went down very well. Everyone I spoke to said Clare Balding's challenge was the number one.
Well, they meant it was the most memorable because it was rubbish.
Well, I thought, to be honest, I don't think you practiced it quite enough because under the pressure with the spotlight on you, you found it difficult, didn't you?
I know, it's because Piers Morgan was shouting questions at me, and I had a straw in my mouth, and I'm trying to blow the Maltesers into a homemade goal, and he's putting me under. Oh, I'm sweating now thinking about it. Anyway, what's your question tonight for us, Andrew?
Okay, so my question to everyone is, when I retired in the end of 2012, my teammates gave me a present in recognition of my retirement. So I want to know whether it was a leather-bound notebook which had a little written message from each of the players that played under me as England captain, or B, was it 100 bottles of wine, each signifying a test match that I played in, or was it C, a free consultation and a voucher for advanced hair studios?
If it was C, have you taken that up yet?
Well, clearly not. But that doesn't mean I didn't have the consultation.
That's true. That's true. I think you're looking very healthy. You look to me like a man who's been playing a lot of golf and maybe a bit of tennis.
There's been about this week's been a lot of golf played, actually. I've got to be honest. I feel for me the lockdown is now lifted. Yeah,
I agree. I think it's made a huge difference to just be able to get out and do that. And
yeah, it's been great.
We'll be able to meet in small groups and see family members sooner rather than later. But you're coping okay, and the kids all right? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it's privileges and penalties, isn't it? It's not all bad. There's some advantages to it, and it's been nice to spend a bit more time with the boys. And also getting into this sort of online way of working, including quizzes coming out of every orifice. Like, I mean, seriously, like a quiz night every week with my family and with friends. And so I'm getting right into this now. It's a good way of living.
It is, actually. No, I totally agree with you. And when the weather's as lovely as it has been, particularly today, then it does make the world obviously feel a bit, well, sunnier, literally. Andrew, thank you so much. Do you want to just repeat that question and I'll give the answer a little later on?
Yeah, absolutely. So what did my teammates give me for my retirement present? Was it A, a leather-bound notebook, B, 100 bottles of wine, or C, a free consultation and a voucher for advanced hair studios?
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Andrew.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
That is Andrew Strauss joining us live from his very nice study by the looks of things. Books are too far away to see what they are, but that looked a very nice room. So thank you to him for that. Question 3 in this round 6, final round. Formal evening dress for men is sometimes called tails. What is tails short for? So formal evening dress for men, sometimes called tails. I mean, obviously the full, full long one. What is tails short for? Question 4. The Beaufort wind scale goes from 1 to 12. What number on the scale represents a strong breeze? Now, as I'm married to somebody who used to do the shipping forecast, she knows the answer to this one, very much so. Don't say it. The Beaufort wind scale goes from 1 to 12. What number on the scale represents a strong breeze? Question 5. The 5 Olympic rings represent the competing continents. They are red, green, blue, black, and which other colour? So those 5 Olympic rings, they represent the 5 competing continents. They are red, green, blue, black, and which other colour? Now, question 6, as I mentioned at the start, we are now in Mental Health Awareness Week, and the Charlie Waller Memorial Trust has launched a social media campaign. It's based on this year's theme, and this is the question I do want you actively to go onto the internet to find the answer, unless you know it already. But I'd love for you to help spread the word as well. So what we want to know is, what is this year's theme for Mental Health Awareness Week, and what is the CWMT social media campaign called? So this is the only time you're allowed to look up the answer and spread it around your own social media, your Facebook, your Twitter, whatever it is that you use. I'll put that up in text form right now, actually. So let's just do a round up of round 6, your final round. And question 1 was, who won Great Britain's first gold medal of London 2012? I'm looking for 2 names. That's in case you were thinking it was Bradley Wiggins, which lots of people do, but it wasn't. Question 2, what did Andrew Strauss's teammates get him when he retired from the cricket world? Was it a notebook in which every player he had captained wrote a personal note of love and devotion and loyalty? Was it 100 bottles of wine signifying each test match he had played? Or was it a free consultation and a voucher for advanced hair studio? Question 3, formal evening dress is often shortened to tails. What is tails short for? Question 4, the Beaufort wind scale goes from 1 to 12. What number on the scale represents a strong breeze? Question 5, the 5 Olympic rings represent the competing continents. They are red, green, blue, black, and which other colour? And 6 is a 2-part question which you are allowed to look up, spread the word, do as much as you can. What is this year's theme for Mental Health Awareness Week? This very week, what is the theme? And what is the CWMT campaign called? So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to mull over your answers. We'll turn the chat function back on very shortly, so you can tell me what you thought of our guest appearances, and also how you think you've got on. But just before we go to the answers, if you have enjoyed the quiz and you'd like to make a donation to the Charlie Waller Memorial Trust, you can donate up to £20 by simply texting CWMT quiz plus your donation amount to 70085. So 70085 is the number you're texting to, and you write in the letters CWMT quiz, doesn't matter if it's capitals or lowercase, and then the amount you'd like to donate. So CWMT quiz 5 to donate £5, or 12 to donate £12, and so on up to £20 on text. Or if you'd like to give us more than that, then you can click on the link below to go to our Just Giving page, and there's a donate button on our website as well. So, and obviously I know this isn't a great time to be asking people for money. It's really not, and lots of people either being furloughed or if they're self-employed, just not earning at all. So only do it if you'd like to. We're not putting any pressure on you. But the most important thing is, hopefully we've entertained you this evening, you've enjoyed yourselves, and that you also maybe have information that you can share with others who might need it about what the Charlie Waller Memorial Trust does. So that almost is the most important thing actually about tonight. So finishing arguing with your teammates over, I told you it was that. I said it was a standard poodle, not a giant poodle. I said you were meant to put American Cocker Spaniel. Why didn't you put American in there? Anyway, it doesn't matter. The main thing is that you're enjoying it, and hopefully the brain is working. Now the chat function is back on, so feel free to, if you can type fast enough, get a message up there, and I will try and do some more mentions. Smithy Smithsters says we're on 21, yay! Oh, it is Woburn. Thank you, Alice. Thank you. Woburn. I'll have to look up where that is. Let's have a look. Ooh, burn. Right, here we go. Trick has absolutely smashed the dog round. Well done, Camilla. Thank you. Elizabeth Ellis says hello. Amir says hello. Annette says, very interesting quiz. Thank you. Sport truly isn't my subject, as I've just proved. That's fair, you know. Sarah and Angela Higgs, mother and daughter doing the quiz together. Not doing too well, but enjoying it. Well, I think that's great. Thank you. The Hollows think they're definitely going to win and then have posted an emoji which suggests maybe not. The Mellings in Birmingham have donated. Thank you to the Mellings. Sam Waller enjoying it. Oh, Tanya Moore says the Cornish, what did you say? The Cornish cheeky choffs are smashing it. The Heptons, please say hi to the 4.5 hours in Basingstoke. Heptons in Basingstoke, that is. Elizabeth says rubbish at sport and dogs. Sorry about that. Good stuff. Well, I'm very glad you're all enjoying it. So here we go with the answers to the final 3 rounds. The Lush ladies of Lancing, by the way, think they have had one too many gins for effective quizzing. Well, that, you know, 1 gin is good for quizzing, 2 is too many. So round 4, the release date for the latest Bond movie, No Time to Die, has been postponed. Who has sung the theme tune? Billie Eilish is the answer, and I will give you a bonus point if you spelt Eilish correctly. And indeed, Billie. Question 2, how many red arrows are in the sky at any one time when they're performing? The answer is 9. Question 3 was from Tim Henman. So he said in 1995, he was the first player to be defaulted, and I explained why, because he hit a ball goal. 2 other players subsequently went on to be disqualified or defaulted. Could you name either of them? The first, both Americans actually. The first was Jeff Tarango. Oh, sorry, here's Tim with the answer, sorry.
So the other players to be disqualified in 1995 were Jeff Tarango, who walked off the court during his singles match and got disqualified, and Murphy Jensen, who didn't turn up for his mixed doubles and was disqualified as well.
And I remember Murphy Jensen just disappeared, and it turned out he'd gone fishing somewhere miles away. He'd gone up to the northeast and gone fishing. And Jeff Tarango, I remember his wife invading the press conference, but he basically told, I think the umpire was called Bruno Robert, and he said, "You are the most corrupt umpire." I mean, it was a proper McEnroe-like tantrum, but he walked off halfway through the match, accusing the umpire of corruption. So the next question was, which country is St. Boniface the patron saint of? Your options were Germany, Austria, or Luxembourg. The correct answer was Germany. True or false was round 5. An emu can fly. That was false. Theodore Roosevelt's son was called Kermit. That is true. And the adult human body has 197 bones. That is false, because there are 206. Question 6, Tim asked, can you name 3 sports in which you go backwards to win? Here's the answer.
The 3 sports that you go backwards to win at are backstroke swimming, rowing, and a tug of war.
Correct. I will also accept high jump. But backstroke swimming, rowing, and tug of war. And I have to correct, Matt has just pointed out, correct, and so has Chaz, you're right. We have spelt Billie wrong there. So Billie Eilish is actually spelt Billie and then Eilish. Happy to put that right, apologies, but Billie with an IE. So the 3 sports, backstroke swimming, rowing, and tug of war, but I will accept high jump, because technically everybody does do it backwards now, although they still run forwards, but you do, I suppose you do the act backwards, so I will accept that. So there were a total of, well, I gave you a bonus point actually, so there are 10 points in total, but a bonus if you spelt Billie Eilish correctly, which is not as it is there. So Billie with an IE and Eilish. Now, John Vickery says, what about rugby? You don't win by going backwards. You pass the ball backwards, but you are running forwards. And gymnastics, not really, because although there are elements to it in which you go backwards, generally speaking, you are going forwards. So no, I won't accept And diving, there are only certain dives in which you will go backwards, and you don't win it by going backwards. You win it by executing a perfect dive. And actually that answer would be relevant in gymnastics as well. Whereas backstroke, swimming, rowing and tug of war, you are winning it by going as fast as you can, or in tug of war's case, as strongly as you can, backwards. Okay, I accept the Billie Eilish correction. I'm not accepting all the other options on going backwards. So those were your answers. Let us move on to the answers for round 5. Somebody says, what about archery? What about archery? Round 5. How high in feet is a basketball hoop from the ground? The answer is 10 feet. Question 2 was in 1847. Charlotte and Anne Bronte both published novels whose title was a woman's name. What were they called? Jane Eyre, I think most of you will have got. Agnes Grey was the other one. That was Anne Bronte's novel. So in the days when we could shake hands, if 6 people are in a meeting, everyone shook hands, how many handshakes would there be? To do this, you basically think you go, if there are 6 people, you go 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 equals 15. So 15 handshakes is the answer. Question 4 was our question from Pippa Funnell. She asked, which 3 events did she win to complete the Rolex Grand Slam of eventing in 2003? She's back on her horse, and this is her answer.
Rolex Kentucky, Mitsubishi Badminton Horse Trials, and the Land Rover Burley Horse Trials.
Now, because Pippa's a good competitor, she knows all her sponsors' names. I don't need the sponsors' names, but I'll happily accept Kentucky, or if you said Lexington, that's fine. Same thing. Badminton and Burley are the 3. And wasn't her horse well behaved? That was lovely. Now, this is fascinating. According to the survey of 2,000 people recently, what is Britain's favourite lockdown snack? I would have thought it was cheese and onion crisps, but it's not. It's cheese on toast. And you see, that involves a bit too much cooking for me, so I wouldn't be able to do that necessarily. But people put bits of mustard in it and all sorts and make it fluffy on top and things, don't they? Right, question 6 in this round was, which member of the royal family is 5th in line to the British throne? And the answer is Prince Louis, because it goes Prince Charles, Prince William, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and then Prince Louis. Because girls are allowed now. So there were 9 points in that round. If you want to add up your scores, let me know how you did in that. Yes, and another spelling mistake, apologies. Agnes Grey is spelt with an E. Correct, it is. Just testing you, you know, testing that's someone who definitely got the answer right because they knew that. So, Georgia Ferguson says 1. Anne Whelan says 1. But Stephen Hall, 5 out of 9 from Cumbria. Fantastic, well done. Oh no, Ezzy Ross says, I got a big fat 0, but you sound happy about it, and I like that. Right, the final round, round 6. Let's give you the answers to that. Who won Great Britain's first gold of London 2012? I gave you a clue when I said I was after 2 names. You get a point for each one. It came in the coxless pair, and it was Helen Glover and Heather Stanning. Question 2 was Andrew Strauss's question. He asked, what did his teammates get him when he retired from the cricket world? And the answer was not the consultation with the hair specialist. It was 100 bottles of wine, signifying each test match that he'd played in. And there might be 2 or 3 left of them. There might not be by now. This was an interesting one. Formal evening dress for a man, sometimes called tails. What's tails short for? I did not know this, and I think it's fascinating. Swallowtails. Makes sense when you think about it, but swallowtails is the answer. The Beaufort wind scale goes from 1 to 12. What number on the scale represents a strong breeze? If you stabbed right in the middle, you'd have got it right. 6 was the answer. The 5 Olympic rings represent the competing continents. They're red, green, blue, black. Which other colour? Yellow was the answer I was after. And this was the one that I was happy for you to look up and very happy for you to spread the word, because as you know, it is now Mental Health Awareness Week. I wanted to know the theme for this year, which is kindness. And the CWMT social media campaign is called #CWMT kindness, pay it forward. It's called the Pay It Forward campaign. So I hope you'll get involved in that. It helps spread some kindness at a time when, frankly, it could not be more needed. So there were 8 points in total available on that round, and hopefully no spelling errors. And yes, to those who say they spotted the Agnes Gray spelling mistake, yes, Louise, you can have a bonus point for that, because that's a good spot and you said it nicely. Newton Prep 2014, do we get a smug spelling points for pointing out the typos? Yes, you can have a smug spelling point, and I'm pleased for you. Right, Lush Ladies of Lancing have got 26 so far. Total, okay, I want some total scores. While you give me your total scores on there. So the grand total is a bit more than 50 because I was giving bonus points as well. But I would think anything over 35 is going to be very, very good. Ooh, Sharon Gardner, total score 36. Julian Dent says a game of two halves. Georgia Ferguson says that was fun. Well, that's the main thing, so thank you. Someone says I know nothing about sports, only got 12. Sorry about that. 39, who's that? 39. Where's it gone? Andrew Rake's got 38. They're coming up so quickly, I'm having to scroll back through. Is there? Oh, Alice says there's a 40. Who got 40? Verity Pike got 40. Oh, well done for the team, Team Over the Border. 35 for Newton Prep, and that's including their smug spelling extra points. Oh, Carly Norton 39. So there's a 41. Two 41s. Nixie Graham and Katie Armstrong. 41. That's excellent. Well, 44. Annalisa Balding, 31 in Kingsclear, poor second half. Well, that's, you know, essentially, that's homeschooling gone wrong, that is. No, that's not a bad score. 31's fine. Oh, yeah, there you go. Katie Armstrong. I said to her, you must be getting them quicker than me. The Danger family from Rugby got 34. Bunch of old Newnhamites got 39. Good for you. Best college. 44. Fluffy, 44. Very good. Is that the best so far? Yeah. 44 is the best. Yeah. Anyone better than 44? Let me know on the chat thing quickly. Otherwise, I'm saying Fluffy 1309, and they say they haven't figured out their team name. You can call yourself winners. That's all you got to call. Oh, Andrew Bays, who's been winning our family quiz recently, 35, with his boys Charlie and Billy, and with his wife Katie. That's very good. And 41 for Funky Boots, Janet Cronshaw says. Oh, an appalling 26 from the Hearst in London. Don't worry about it. Oh, Milo Maynard, 44. 45. He said 44. He said 44. No, he's put 44 twice, unless we're having a... Chris Mould, 35. Well done. He's put 44 3 times. I don't know where you saw it. Okay. Flora Elizabeth, though, says 45. Now, suddenly. Oh, okay. Only put it up if you've got anything better than 45. And Finn Hughes says, how did the McKinnons go? They basically stopped posting their score, Finn. But they're saving themselves up. Yes, Flora Elizabeth, 45. 45. Luke Adams says 57. I think he's lying. Lucy Creasy, 45 as well. The McCardles got 36. Well done. Oh, wow. Livy Lee Smith says, we named all of the GB hockey team. Can we have a point for each? Technically, no, but I'm really proud of you and impressed. Is that good enough? So just to remind you, we are going to give a prize, not necessarily for the highest scorer, but for whoever comes out of the prize draw. And you can have a copy of, I forgot to get one of my books. You can have a copy of one of the books. One of the books I've written. 3 of them are for children, which are in the Charlie Bass series. So The Racehorse Who Wouldn't Gallop, The Racehorse Who Disappeared, and The Racehorse Who Learned to Dance, which is the most recent one. There's a book coming out at Christmas, which is sort of more for adults, and otherwise you can have Walking Home or My Animals and Other Families. So, so the password for the draw is Pay It Forward. And to enter, you just need to complete the short form via the link in the description below. So you'll see that. Jake Brown, 48. Oh, and William Hoare, 47. Oh, that's good. Jake Brown, you're now our leader. Well done. But the link in the description below, if you select the correct password, and I've just told you it's pay it forward. Okay, pay it forward. Entries will close on Sunday the 24th of May at 9 p.m. and we'll announce the winner on Monday the 25th of May on our website and social media channels, and the winner will be notified by email. Only one entry per person, please. We really hope that you have enjoyed yourselves this evening. There's lots of scores still coming in, so if you just want to join in on the chat, then do, because it's lovely out there. And yes, what is it out of? Sarah says, well, originally it was out of 50, but then I gave a few bonuses, so I think it's out of about 56. Ish, which is why somebody who said they scored 58, I knew they were lying. Anyway, well done anyone who got in the 40s, that's really good, and 30 is still good, and everybody else for trying is excellent as well. And mainly I just hope you've had fun over the last hour and 25 minutes or so. So join us at the same time in 2 weeks' time. Do you want to know who your quizmaster is for that? It's Chris Tarrant. They've got Chris Tarrant who's going to be presenting this live online quiz. I am so excited about that. I'll be joining in and trying to score more than 30 points in his quiz. So that's Tuesday, the 2nd of June. And by the way, if you haven't watched quiz, was it a 4-parter or 3-parter? The 3-parter on ITV, then do look that up and watch it. It was excellent. And yeah, it was great. Anyway, he'll be the host then. So it's my absolute pleasure to say thank you so much for joining. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Well done to all of you for being here with us. And thank you to all those who have donated. Bye.